Chainsaw Man fans, try to be normal challenge. Difficulty? Impossible. I am so sorry for this video. Okay, this is easily the most psychotic concept for a video I've ever done. Spurred upon by Twitter artist Crimbenny's tweet, has anyone calculated how much meat Denji had to actually eat at the end of part 1? And it immediately made me curious as well, only to briefly search and see that there wasn't really an in-depth answer for this, probably because a lot of people don't want to end up on some weird list. So, oh man, in the most normal way possible, let's work through the answer. First, a Chainsawman exposition previous to the anime confirmed character heights with official life-size cutouts that you could even stand next to, confirming Makima is 168 centimeters or 5 foot 5 inches. It's also worth noting, in most depictions, excluding fan art, Makima is a fairly thin character with her shirt always falling baggy and tailoring into her waist. She also is not too strong muscularly speaking. All of her commands are generally psychic, done with sort of supernatural powers and strength, never through her own personal musculature. She rarely carries anything approaching anything heavy, so we can assume that she is likely just pretty skinny and unmuscular. Chainsaw Man, also being from Japan, has character designs that lean more towards Japanese standards for average body types and weights. That being said, the average weight of a woman in Japan is far below average, coming in at 53 kilograms or 117 pounds. That also said, Makima is 10 centimeters taller than the average Japanese woman, with her probably clocking in around 55 kilograms in terms of weight. Less than average, but not underweight. Now we have to look at the human body. With our understanding of height and weight, it's likely that Makima's skeleton is 11.4 pounds or 5.17 kilograms. Looking at a chart put together by the College of American Pathologists, and this is probably the last thing that they would have thought that their research would be used for, key organs come out to about 3.8725 kilograms. In an attempt to make this less gross, I'm gonna gloss over the details. Combining this with other organs, like the large and small intestines, I'd say it's around 15.5 pounds as the total organ weight. That leaves us with basically 93 pounds of meat. But oh ho ho, if you didn't think that this was psychotic enough, let's remember the original question. How much meat did he actually eat? Well, that's, if you haven't already thought, a very different question from just how much meat is on Makima, which is already a weird question. But for this answer, we'll have to look at the meals that Denji prepared. You can't really tell from the way that he stored it how it's divided, so I'm gonna have to go off the meals we know and make a rough split evenly. He makes awful miso stew, awful being basically all the bits that you normally don't eat in a casual meal, like organs, so likely all that goes in there. Next we have both sushi and sashimi, both of which are served raw, or at least very close to it. The cooked meals, aside from awful, are the nuggets, meat curry, meatballs, mystery meat, hot pot, normal hot pot, less mystery hot pot, meat buns, patties, extreme juice, and of course, as we see, stir fry. If we're splitting things evenly, that's about 7.75 pounds per type for each meal. This is where the type of meal becomes relevant. You see, when you cook meat, it loses moisture and gets smaller. The stir fry, which is heavily cooked, likely loses around 25% of its weight through water and other juices during the cooking process. So 7.75 becomes 5.8125. Sushi and sashimi retain their size as they mostly go, if not completely, uncooked. Hot pot and normal hot pot are somewhat cooked with the juices of the meal, meaning it's likely closer to 10% loss, considering the juices are likely probably still involved in all of that. So 6.975 for both of those. Meat curry likely also has 25%, and meatballs might sit closer to 20. Nuggets are definitely 25%. The patties in this image still appear fairly red, so I'm gonna say like 10%, because it's really red, is likely appropriate. The tonkatsu is probably like 20%, if not a little more even, and the steak looks slightly pink, but still mostly well done. Let's say 20%. So, how much meat did Denji eat? If we divide that, remove it for the cooking weight, I'm gonna say around 72.46 pounds. Now, that is quite a lot. So, how long would we estimate Denji being able to eat before he was done? Now, we know that Denji is a big eater. Being generous and saying he ate a ton, let's say 16 ounces per meal, it would take him just over 24 days to consume Makima at that rate. We're also lucky that Denji is immortal, because this amount of meat eating, especially with the purine-rich cuts like organs, would almost certainly lead to life-debilitating gout. So, yeah, how much meat did Denji eat? My rough estimate is around 72.5 pounds, with a total of 24 days to consume. If you would like to drink some Makima, consider mixing it in with Gamersupps using code HIDING, as linked below. People using my code get a discount. It's calorie and sugar-free, while still giving the caffeine you need. By far the healthiest way to drink Makima's blood if you so need to. Thanks to my patrons. Also, sorry to my patrons. I have no idea what possessed me to make this abomination of a video. I was having a cold sweat, I was feeling lightheaded and had a bad fever, saw Crimbini's tweet, and it's like my brain could only focus on trying to figure out the answer. This is also probably super inaccurate, because, quite frankly, I'm squeamish whenever it comes to these sorts of topics, and, I don't know, I feel like the more accurate I am, the more bad it says about me. Anyways, I hope this scratched your curiosity. See you soon.